Good afternoon. It is the Everton Daily Live here on Toffee TV. It is Ned and myself today. First time we've done live for a while, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Because
Well, every time I do a live, you normally have to say something that has to calm down.
you don't have to say anything. You just say things.
And when I don't say things, people are like, "Oh, boring today. You didn't say anything offensive or controversial." I'm like,
Are you saying people actively want you to say
I
something?
feel like people.
You've got to be. You're gonna
expect
have
that
to
of
be
me.
very, very careful, aren't you? Now with obviously.
Just be normal.
No, but you're gonna have to be very, very careful. No, I suggest you're not normal, because you'll be leaving this parish in a couple of weeks, and you've got to be very careful with what you say. You don't offend anyone.
I believe it or not, people have, when I've met people in person, people are like, "Oh, you're more normal in person. You're not as weird as you are on camera." Thanks, mate. Oh, just like, I know we're on camera and there's people watching, but sometimes you forget that and you're just amongst your mates, aren't you? And we're like, because we spend it every day with each other for like almost 5 years now. I just say everything that's on my mind, and sometimes you forget that there's a camera there as well. But obviously, when you're with people you don't really know, you just act more.
That
like
might be
a
something you
normal
need to maybe think about when you go to your new job.
Yeah, I don't think there's any cameras,
I don't think it's the cameras you need to worry about. I think it's the other human beings
Well, yeah.
that you need to worry about offending. I think you've realised in this room there's literally nothing that's too offensive to say.
Yeah, I'm just not gonna get that close to anyone. I'm just gonna focus on myself in my new job.
Just focus on
Make no
yourself.
friends.
Yourself and your inner self.
My only friend is me.
Yeah. Ipswich tomorrow. Are you excited?
I won't be watching it, to be honest, but
Oh.
I'm excited. Do you know what? I'm excited.
Yeah.
For us to just go, this is a team that's just come up, and we are Everton, and we'll just go there and we'll roll them over, and it'll be a comfortable win for us. Because I do feel like we're easily good enough to beat them.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll go there and we'll get rolled over, because it seems recently we got this perception that we're crap and we're an easy home win for anybody, and we might have been in the past few years, but it doesn't mean that we are. I don't think we went many stadiums last season, apart from like teams like Chelsea, and gave them a really easy game. And we won a few away games last season, and we certainly did okay against the teams that come up. So I think we were the better team by Leicester by far. I just think a case of taking chances. I know that's part of your game. We've got to improve in that area, but I don't see no reason why we can't go and make a comfortable win. Maybe even get a clean sheet. Hopefully Branthwaite plays, because obviously, if you look at the facts, he's an integral part in us winning games this season. We haven't won a game without him. So if he plays, and that'll help boost the confidence in the team a little bit, and hopefully it is an easy win, and people can stop this nonsense that, we got Everton at home, this should be an easy 3 points, because it really shouldn't be.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't know if there are too many easy games when you're down at that end of the table. I don't think there's many easy victories, certainly when you go away from home. But last season, the last time we won an away game was obviously Burnley, and obviously that night or that evening, it was quite it was easy. We got the game won in the first half, quite convenient. Now, are Ipswich better than Burnley were last year? That's debatable, because they've started off in decent fashion. Obviously, they got beat last time 4-1, but they've put a few draws together. I think what Everton have to sort of try and capitalise on tomorrow is the fact that I think there is a idea amongst Ipswich fans that they can beat us, and if we can get in the lead and we can play in a way that frustrates them and frustrates the crowd. I'm not saying the crowd will turn on them, because I don't think they will. I think Ipswich don't think are anywhere near that point. I think they've done well so far. But if we can frustrate them and they do get a little bit worried, See, I don't know what their mindset is. I don't know what the mindset is of a team like Ipswich and their fans. Are they just in it for the ride? Do they think they can stay up? I think football fans always demand more. They always want more. There's this, you get this thing of, oh, we're just here to have a bit of fun. But you're not, though, because it is, because after a while you go, oh, do you know what, if we could stay up? And we've got this great manager, we've got a few decent players, and we can add to it, got more money next year, and we're debt free and all this. People start getting ideas. Every football fan does. Oh, if we could just stay up. God, and then, look at Forest, they just stayed up, and look at them now, they're doing all right. Every football fan feels like that. So at some point, because if you didn't feel like that, no one would ever get sacked. Look at Sheffield United last year. They were never staying up, and yet for some mad reason they sacked their manager because it was like, oh, we're not staying up. Instead of going, keep the manager, let him learn, go down, come back up again. Good coach.
It was unexpected, that and the worst thing for me, what they did is go back and get Chris Wilder, and that to me that just told me that they hit the panic button and they were never staying up. But I look at someone like Luton and I compare them to Ipswich. Luton they had a bit of quality and they had the confidence that they can get that team score goals, but they didn't quite have that experience and manage games. And I look at a bit with Ipswich and Burnley last season as well. Burnley was a little bit experienced, but it was quite a fresh team compared to the team that went down, and they had fresh ideas, a fresh manager. Again, had a little bit of confidence that they can play football, and they play decent football, didn't have quite that experience to manage out games, where we went into that Burnley game last season with a lot more experience and nous. The Leicester game was a bit of a struggle because they went straight back down. They came straight back up with pretty much a pretty similar team. They had a bit more of experience, quality. Where I look at this Ipswich team, and I think there's a few young players in there. Jack Clark still on the young side. Never really had Premier League minutes. Delap, young and experienced. So they've got quality in players that are probably hungry, but I don't think they'll quite have the experience to manage out a lot of wins this season, which I think will ultimately result in them going back down. But more importantly, hopefully Everton go there and get a comfortable win, because we have got a lot of experience compared to some of these teams at the bottom. And I know we're only a place or two above them at the moment, but for me it should be a comfortable win. And I think we get beat there. I think not getting a win there would be a complete failure for me, but if we get beat there, I think alarm bells are really ringing, because if we're getting beat by teams with absolutely no experience, and alarm bells rang for me last season when we were getting beat by Luton at home, but the away performance was a much better improvement, and we did get it better by the end of the season. But if we go into a new season now with 1 win out of 8 games, because we get beat tomorrow and we get beat by a really, underperforming team that I don't think will do very well this season at all, then alarm bells will be absolutely ringing for me.
Ipswich are in that phase, obviously, early on in the season. Everything's good. They're not, they're not down there on their own, and they're fighting, and it will be a tough game, but Everton have just got to hope. No, not hope. Everton have got to put a performance in tomorrow, because away from home so far, the first 40 minutes or so, Villa, we were all right. Leicester, an hour, I'd say. And then we didn't fall to bits, but we just handed over the initiative to Leicester. We stopped playing. We've got to make sure that tomorrow it's a 90 minutes of trying to control the game. Now that might be without possession, but we've got to try and control the game. As I said, it will not be an easy game, and again, injuries played a part. Whether he brings Branthwaite back, or whether Branthwaite's fit enough to come back, we'll wait and see. He said he's fit, but as he talked about the programme and all that, and he might be thinking, well, if we get through this game, that's another week, and then next game at home next week might be a better one for Branthwaite to come into. You'll look at Michael Keane's performance in the last game and think Michael Keane can get through this one.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? I think if Branthwaite wasn't totally sure on it, a game like this should be a game where you go, all right, well, we'll leave Branthwaite on the bench for now, and we'll just let him get back to that 100% Premier League fitness. And Michael Keane's got the experience and the quality to come in, because he's a Premier League centre half. No doubt about that. No matter what you think of him, he should be able to go to Ipswich and put a really good performance in, like he did against Burnley last season. Scored a goal, didn't he, as well in that game? So it wouldn't be. This isn't a game I look at and go, Branthwaite has to play. You'd hope he does, just because of the fact that we haven't won a game without him. But even to break that thing, if he doesn't play, Michael Keane plays, I still expect a comfortable win. And if you win, it will get that thing off your back that we need Branthwaite in the team as well. Which at the moment it still feels like we do.
So you're saying Everton, no matter what, Everton should just roll into Ipswich tomorrow?
I think out. Easily should be a comfortable win. And if not, the players and the manager have questions to answer. Why can't you beat Ipswich?
What makes you think it should be an easy win?
Because we got, like I've said, we've got plenty more experience to manage out these games. These teams that will no doubt get at us because they'll have confidence. They're at home, but they don't have the quality. I still don't think they've got the quality to put 2 or 3 past us, considering how strong we were at the back end of last season defensively, or strong across the whole season we were defensively. If we can't go into Ipswich and take what we got last season, even though we've had a bit of a poor start this season, and get an easy win, then I don't think there's no signs that we will turn around this poor form at all. We can't even beat Ipswich. So for me, if we get beat tomorrow, then I'll be looking to move the manager on, because what else, how lower can you getting beat by Ipswich?
I mean, you're making a lot of big statements here, Ned. I mean, my eyes tell me.
No, they haven't won a game this season. I
know, but we've only won one.
I know, but I don't think we've been. It's not like we've been battered in every game. I think we've missed poor chances. We've had some shocking games. Started off really poor, but I still think we've got the quality and experience to go and beat these. I thought we were okay against Newcastle. I thought we were a miles better team against Leicester. I thought Palace. I think Palace are still. I know they've been poor this season. Palace are still a much better side than Ipswich, and even though we went down in that game, I still thought we'd have gone on and won it, and we did. I know we're poor to watch. I still struggle to see what we're trying to do on the pitch, but I still really feel like it should be an easy win. If we're that dynasty that we can't go and beat Ipswich, then we need to sack the manager. Simple as.
Interesting.
Because if we're going to sit here and say we're crap and we're going to get beat tomorrow, then we may as well just accept relegation. If you want to accept relegation, then let's do something about it. Then let's change the manager. We can't change the players right now, can we? We can't go and sell the players and bring new players in right now. So what can you do? You sack the manager, don't you? Because you're underperforming. 1 win out of 7 ain't good enough. If we don't beat Ipswich tomorrow, then how long are we going to wait until we do something about it? Are we going to wait till January? Because if we get beat tomorrow by Ipswich, there's no saying that we'll win another game this year. If we wait till January to sort that out, then we're just waiting, basically making it harder for the next manager to come in to keep us up, aren't we? If we get beat tomorrow, then he's gone for me. Simple as.
I think tomorrow we have to make sure we don't concede the first goal. I think we have to make sure we are on the front foot and we don't give them anything to get too excited about, and we use all our experience like you just mentioned there, and it has to be one where you just grind it out tomorrow. We're not going to play great football. We don't play great football, but you've got to use that experience, that Premier League nous, and if they can't use it, when the team tomorrow will probably have, well, we know it'll have Pickford, we know it'll have Tarkowski, we know it'll have Ashley Young in it, probably have Michalenko in it, probably have Mangala in it, probably have either Jessica Gay or Decore in it. It will have McNeil in it, it will have Njai in it, it will have Dominic Calvert-Lewin in it, it'll probably have Harrison in it. There's a lot of Premier League experience there. And if we can't get over the line against teams like Ipswich, and that's no disrespect to Ipswich Town, but if we can't beat them, then we are in trouble. You're not. Nothing you said there is wrong. We are in trouble. I don't necessarily believe.
It mightn't get the manager sacked if we get beat tomorrow, but for me, I think if you get beat tomorrow and it's a really poor performance, you're just delaying the inevitable. And it would take me back to when Lampard got beat 3-0 by Bournemouth, or you got battered by Bournemouth twice in 1 week, and we just waited. And we knew results weren't going to get any better, and we waited. And by the time the next manager come in, it took him to the last game of the season to keep us safe.
Yeah.
Ironically, Sean Dyche.
No, at the end of the day, I think the players I've just named there should be good enough to beat Ipswich tomorrow. But most of those players played in the game against Leicester as well. And I don't think Leicester are a very good side. I slightly disagree with what you said before. I don't think it is anywhere near the same team that Leicester took down when brought back up. I think all the quality's been stripped away from them massively.
I don't think they had that much quality when they went
down.
No,
but all the quality's been stripped away from them. You know, and I just think that tomorrow we should be going to Ipswich and we should be applying whatever way we play should be good enough to beat them. And that comes from the manager and it comes from the players. And that's not being, you know, when you look at the record so far, okay, people will go, well, they don't quite tally up. But I think in the last 3 games or so, we have improved defensively, I think. Stupidity and the manager's stupidity cost us points. Well, cost us 3 points against Bournemouth. I don't care what anyone ever says about that game. The manager cost that game. And against Villa, I think the players not reacting quick enough to what was going on around them. And I also believe in that game, the subs could have been better as well to stop them doing what they do. But we scored goals in those games and it was positives from that point of view. And then we've been on an unbeaten run. Leicester we should have won. I don't think we threw away that game. Palace we did win, obviously. Newcastle, I think we got lucky in some respects, but I also think we should have had a penalty. So maybe a draw was a fair result. This next set of games is like where it all comes together, where you go, right, you've had your bad start, you've improved a little bit, you're starting to get your defence sorted, your squad's getting a bit more rounded. Players who come in the summer now are adjusted to it, apart from Jake O'Brien. And you start to you figured it out in many ways. And if it doesn't happen in these next few games, and you look at what's ahead of us in December and stuff, which doesn't always play out like that, by the way, that, oh, look at that's a terrible fixture. We do have the likes of Wolves and Forest and Manchester United in that run as well. And you throw in a Merseyside derby where we won last year, and you think, well, you know, we haven't been beaten bad that many times over the last few years. Chelsea at home, who we beat last year, even though it will be an improved Chelsea. There are games there where you go, no, actually, take them in isolation. Okay, you know, the likes of Arsenal away and Manchester City away are very tough games. But you take them in isolation and you go, rather than going, oh my God, look at that month. Never look at a block of fixtures, whether it's positivity or negative. If Everton win tomorrow, Fulham next week is like, can't wait. Fulham at home, soft underbelly. We lose tomorrow, Fulham, you're going, oh my God, Marco Silva coming in, he's going to put the nail in the coffin and all that kind of thing. Mentality's such a big thing in football. Should never look 2 games past, where one game should always be the next game, the next game, the next game. So we are in a rough spot. We haven't got as many points as we did this time last year. And this time last year is when we kicked on. We kicked on this time last year. October and November were decent months. And then we got the 10-point deduction, and then December was a good. Then December was the first part of December was a really good month. Well, December as a whole was a really good month for us, getting those 12 points. So this is where we have to kick on, and that has to start tomorrow.
I think the biggest warning thing for me was that Villa game. I know we've been battered in games, but it really showed our mentality, and I'm sure we're all together in this. When we're 2-0 up at Villa, we're not sat here like excited or thinking we're playing really well here or thinking we'll win this. You just wait, and it's not like we'll get beat, you know, like off the mark comments. It was more like you subconsciously, you know, we're playing crap, 2-0 up, we're playing crap, and this will just, I can't really see us winning this game, and that's a real big issue. And whether that's something that's grown over time from poor results and us getting hard done by every time we're in the lead and stuff. But to be in a game where you're 2-0 up against Villa and you're sat there going, we're not going to really win this game, or you're even 2-0 up and you're not even enjoying it, that's a real problem for me. So that was the lowest point for me of the season. I know we've been battered in games, battered at home by Brighton, 3-2 after you know, being 2-0 up so late in the game against Bournemouth, but being 2-0 up in a game and not even being comfortable or happy about it or enjoying the performance, that was really crap for me.
No, but I mean,
Bournemouth can't get worse than that. But at least
Villa, that was like,
at least I enjoyed it for 80 minutes.
No, Villa, that was like, I can see this 2-0 up. I could still see it coming because we
that's sad though, isn't it? That's really sad.
That's because of what happened the week before, though, and that's because the players and the manager haven't got a mentality. Of course, there's two ways to look at it. You can look at it negatively and you can look at it positively. You can look at it negatively and go, everything's rubbish, everything's terrible, we're getting beat tomorrow. And I don't think that's true. You can look at it too positively and go, we'll get there tomorrow, we'll roll these over, we're better than them, blah, blah, blah. That's not true. The truth is somewhere in the middle. We have got better players than the relegation promoted team, sorry. We've got better players than them. Just the ones I read out before, they're better than what they've got. Not might be by miles, but it's little gains here and there. And is the manager getting as much out of them as he should be? I don't believe he is. And I believe that's one of the reasons why, you know, he should be replaced at an appropriate time. And that's all it comes down to. All it comes down to is, and you can, both things can be right, by the way. Someone can look at someone in the comments can say, we'll get beat tomorrow and these are the reasons, and can be perfectly right. And then someone else can say, we'll win tomorrow because we're a better team and these are the reasons, and they'll be right. But the problem is we're in no man's land at the moment because the manager's not getting the best out of these players. And then it creates a mentality, like you just said, against Villa, where there's no belief that you're going to win the game from the fans or maybe the players as well. And if the players don't believe... When I watched that Villa game and we're 2-0 up, you could see what was coming. And I think fans are so much tuned in. Bournemouth was the same. Fans are so much more tuned into what's going on because a lot of the times fans see stuff in a negative way rather than a positive way. So when players come on the pitch and things are starting to happen, fans get onto it a lot quicker, I think, than football people do. It's because football people see it from this, like, oh, this possibly can't go wrong because I've done this and I've done that. Dyche said himself at the Bournemouth game, oh, I could see it and I was waiting for them to do something. It's like, no, mate, that's your job. And I think that's the problem we have right now is we're in that no man's land that you look at an Ipswich game and you think we can win that, but then you think, but we won't. And it's getting out of that. That's where we have to get out of. And I don't personally believe, I don't think as myself, I will ever think we will win this game under Sean Dyche. There was a time I did think like that, by the way. I think you go back to, like, say, the Burnley game last year. I was probably in the mindset that, yeah, Sean Dyche will know how to beat these. I don't believe that now because I've seen enough of this manager to believe, me personally, that I don't believe that he can set a team up tomorrow that will convincingly beat Ipswich Town. That's just my opinion. I don't think he can get. I don't think he'll get the subs right. I don't think he'll get the starting 11 right. I don't think he'll have us playing in a particular well. That's my personal opinion of Sean Dyche. Now, people might have a completely different opinion of him than I do. They might see him in a different light. They will see what he's done at this club so far and go, no, see, that record saved us twice. That record proves that he's a good manager. Personally, I don't believe with a better set of players that he's capable of going, now we're going to do this. We're going to get the best out of Dwight. We're going to get the best out of Njai. Dom's going to have so many chances. And because we're playing on the front foot with the fullback going high, they're not going to be able to live with us. I just don't see that. And they're my issues with the manager.
I think he got it right towards the back end of last season. We weren't scoring a lot of goals, but he found a way of managing out games where we were keeping clean sheets and winning home games. And better in teams that you could even say had a better squad than us. But too many times this season, we've had a poor result against a team which we've even outperformed in the game.
Don't you think, right, that the back end of a season is when a manager has, like he has, comes alive. Because, I'll tell you why, in my opinion. This start part of the season is when a lot of the better sides are at their best, right? Is that not loads of injuries, got loads of players to pick from, and are competing in, okay, they're competing in different tournaments and they're strong. Okay, it's always good to get a team in Europe, maybe the weekend after Europe or the weekend before Europe or just after an international break when they've had loads of players away. But they're always in. They're still in. Villa are still in the Champions League or whatever, right? When you play them in April or March and you're playing against teams that have nothing to play for, that's when teams who are in the bottom half of the table start picking up points, all of them. So what managers with experience of that do is they prioritise those games. So when we beat Forest, okay, it was a toss-up that game, and it was two teams, and we were at home, and the home advantage got us over the line. Then we played Liverpool on a Wednesday night, and Liverpool looked tired from their long season. You know, they lost to Palace, I think, the weekend after. They drew with West Ham on the Saturday after they played us. They looked tired. It was a really good time to play them. We were really lucky that our season last season actually changed by the fact that Liverpool played Manchester United in the FA Cup and our game was postponed. That's actually what sort of saved our season in many ways. And also us having that break of not being in the FA Cup. And then we played Brentford on the Saturday, who had nothing to play for. Then we went to Luton and they had something to play for, but we were chilled out. We got a draw. Then we got Sheffield United, who had nothing to play for. Burnley, we'd beaten them 1-0 previously. We'd had a really good run of fixtures, but it felt like we were always slightly better than the team we were playing, or the team we were playing, their season was done. Crystal Palace finished the season really strong. They didn't play anyone. They've won, 5 of the last 6 because they weren't playing anyone. And that March and April are always when you pick up a manager like Dyche won't panic because he knows March and April are a brilliant time to pick up. But that's what we've done in the last 2-3 seasons. Picked up loads of points in March and April and going into May because you're playing teams that are just like seeing out the season. It's always a great time to play Fulham, or it's a great time to play anyone who's not got anything to play for or have had a decent season but have fallen. Like you know what I mean? Because they've already played loads of games.
Things always seem to change around when you're coming back from the winter break. Some teams don't get players back. Some teams get players back or try players in different positions and found something that works because they've had players out during the winter break because the amount of games during the winter period because the amount of games, or they get new managers in, so teams get bounces. It always seems like there definitely is that. You know, there's a start, a middle, and an end. You know, there's 3. I always seem to split the season into 3, and it always seems that Everton have a bit of a shaky start, sometimes a decent start, a bit of a poor winter period, but then a really strong finish. It always seems like it's, you know, like a similar sort of season. But the thing I always struggle with is when you finish a season as strong as you did last season, but you're coming into a new season with the same manager and the same players. All right, we've lost Onana, but he wasn't a huge integral part of the team. I think the team's better, but it seems like we've lost the good things that Dyche put in towards the end of the season. Yeah. We've lost that ability to keep a clean sheet and make a game a lot more tighter than it has been. Certainly, teams like in the games like Brighton and Tottenham, you know, we didn't have a game like that since Chelsea away, which was obviously a really poor game. But towards the end of the season, every game was tight, but we were in it. We seem to be in control of every game, where we've just completely lost that this season.
I think Dyche will always start picking up points at this time of the year because this is when it gets quite hectic so there's like 2 periods. There's this period now and what we've just talked about. And again, there is that look at the draw with the fixtures. We're playing. You probably want to be playing. You probably want to be playing maybe promoted teams around December because the squads are stretched and the suspensions kick in. European teams, it's probably this is probably a good time to play them now because they've got so many games. You can catch Liverpool playing at 12:30, or you can catch someone playing. They've played on a Wednesday. When Ipswich played, when Man United played Villa had just played the game against Bayern Munich, and that was probably a really good time to play Villa because they were tired and they were leggy and you couldn't go that extra little bit. And there are good times to play teams, and it does work out a little bit like that. So
that the other week with Liverpool had 1 week Champions League. Next week, Carabao Cup. They played Forest. I think that was an early kick-off. And they just couldn't get going. They could have played another hour or two and they probably wouldn't have scored a goal.
That's it. And what Dyche is very good at, by the way, and he has always been quite good at, he's always had long spells of not winning games and then having long spells of being unbeaten. When he was at Burnley, he's done that at us as well. And that's what I'm saying. This period of time we're going into now, I think, is a traditional time of the year. He normally... And he's so emotionless. You see it in the press conferences, you see it after games. He doesn't get caught up in the emotions of it, which is a good thing in many ways. So, and he's got the experience of knowing that there are times in the season where things will go against you, and then there are 38 games, there are loads of points to pick up, and he knows with a decent side you will pick up enough points. He'll know that. I don't think he's stressing. Fans will stress about it. But the point being is tomorrow is a period of time. He will look at it and go, there won't be so for me it'd be there won't be loads of changes. There won't be even with Patterson back and with Seamus Coleman back, the case will be I'm looking now to keep a steady back four. Michael Keane's done all right for me, so I'll keep Michael Keane in, or Ashley Young goes to right back, Michael goes to the left back, and we keep things the same. We don't make loads of changes. Yes, we've got injuries, but that's why you make one change, you don't make loads of changes. So if we have to switch over Ashley Young, that might mean that Michael Keane stays in because you don't want loads of changes all at once. Because he'll know that this is a period of time where it is about making sure picking up the points is the only thing that matters now.
You play if you have a shaky start like this, but if you're keeping at least consistency with the team and what you're trying to do in games, the things you're trying to do will start eventually working out and wins will come and start to pick up points. I think you start throwing in Patterson and Coleman and stuff now and trying to get players back up to fitness at a period where you just come off the back of the second international break. This is the time where you might start picking up points. You're getting into games are getting a little bit tighter. We're getting 0-0s and 1-0s rather than 4-0, 3-0s like we're at the start of the season. And we'll start to pick up points. So I don't think there is a huge rush to get Branthwaite back in and Patterson back in, because I don't think it works like that where we get them back in. And, we're a much better team, and you gotta get up.
Well, that starts tomorrow, doesn't it? That starts tomorrow for both teams. Ipswich, the longer it goes on without a win, and that's why it's really important that Everton don't allow Ipswich to win tomorrow, to keep that pressure on them as well, so they keep going, oh God, we're away next week and blah blah blah. So it's important from Everton's point of view, we don't allow them to get that win as well. Emma, Ned's not available to take your bins out, Jack's not available to take your bins out. I'm really sorry about that. You're just gonna have to get some our fella from next door to take them out or something. There's not much we can do about that. Glenn Watson over on Toffee TV Premier has asked a really important question. I think this is really important for both of us. He does say it's just for me, but I think I'd like to pass over to my honourable gentleman on my right as well. He says some people believe that the movies Predator and Terminator are set in the same universe. This theory suggests that the T-800 Terminator, also played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, was based on the soldier Dutch from Predator. What does he say in that film, Ned?
You one ugly mother.
No, but what's the other thing he says that you like saying?
Hasta la vista.
No, that's a different. That's no. It's to do with a thing that flies in the air.
In Predator?
Yeah. It's a very famous.
Oh, get back to the chopper.
I'm going to say it properly.
Get back to the chopper.
I don't think he says back, isn't it? Just say.
Get to the chopper.
Yeah. Say it properly in a loud voice.
Get back to the chopper.
There you go. There's Ned.
Idiot.
So Ned, do you support the theory that the Terminator and Predator are in the same universe?
No, because I'll have to think about it and I can't be arsed. So no, okay. Dead easy.
I'm gonna say no, and I'm gonna say that just off the top of my head. And the reason I say that is because Predator 2 is set. I'd need to know what year Predator 2 was set in, so that I would know. Because doesn't Skynet take over in like 99?
Yeah, and let's not forget that if Predator and Terminator are in the same universe, that means Terminator and Alien are in the same universe.
No, that's not canon. That isn't canon.
Is it not?
No, it's not canon.
I thought it was.
No, I know they've made the films, but that's not canon. No, I'm not having that.
Oh, that's just another annoyance, isn't it?
No. I need to know what year Predator 2's set in, because it's
1997.
It feels quite futuristic.
Is that the one? It's in the city, isn't it?
Danny Glover, isn't it? And he goes on the ship at the end.
Yeah.
And he's got have you seen Prey?
Yeah, I like that. I really like
Prey's
that.
amazing. Prey is amazing.
Set like years and years
So,
ago,
but the gun from Prey is in Predator 2, isn't it?
His gun, though, innit?
No, it's like the pistol.
Yeah.
And he has the pistol, but the girl gets the pistol. And it's like, well, how does the girl get the pistol? Because the Predator throws it to him. So how does the pistol end up back on the ship? Apparently there's going to be a Prey 2. It's very, very good. I do not subscribe to that. I'd like to subscribe to it, but I'd need to know. Yeah, Predator 2 was set in 1997. Okay, well then maybe they are set in the same world.
When was Prey set? Because they had the French,
was
didn't
like
they, with the guns?
87 or something, wasn't it?
Because they still had, like, the French people had the guns.
Yeah, because it was set about the same time that Deliverance. Not Deliverance. What's the other one? What's the
Deliverance?
Not Deliverance.
Ding, 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 ding.
What's the film where Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom Hardy kills his son?
Revenant.
That's it. I knew it was something like that.
Deliverance. Ding, ding, ding.
So
that I'm not a huge fan of the Predator films. I like the first one. I'd never liked any of the sequels except for the prequel.
No, second one's boss. Prey's good.
I never liked.
No,
the
I don't like the other ones. And
the remakes were crap. Wasn't there a remake with
Prey? Apparently 1710s.
Wasn't there a remake with Adrian Brody?
Yeah, but that wasn't a remake. That was called Predators. And basically, instead of the aliens coming to Earth, the aliens brought up loads of humans to this planet, and some of them were like terrible. Like there was a serial killer. There was like something else. And then they found Samuel Jackson was already living on this planet because he'd survived. And Aidan Brody was like a bad guy, but he wasn't terribly bad. And they had to kill. It was like a training camp for predators.
Yeah.
There you go. But Glenn, let's just say I like that kind of thing. I like that kind of thing. I've got no problem with that kind of thing. If Dutch was the reason for it, no problem. And obviously,
Dutch.
We in the film in Terminator. What is it? Terminator Resurrection. When John Connor is played by Christian Bale.
I've only seen 1 and 2.
And you see,
I really liked him.
You're weird.
I like the one with the cop who's chasing him, and now he's trying to save the girl instead of help her and the boy.
In Terminator, in the future with Christian Bale playing him, you do go to the factory that they're making, and they have like a weird CGI Arnie, and it looks a bit weird. Glenn has a Ned only question. You said, how low can you go? It begs the question, which Toffee TV presenter can limbo the best? Who wins a game of chicken limbo? Baz, Ped, Ned, John, Pilates, Blaine.
Limbo, I'd struggle because I've got a bit of a bad back.
I'd have no chance.
Well, Baz eats nuts and that, doesn't he? It's probably Baz.
Nuts, and they're scientifically
Seeds
proven, aren't they?
So
Scientifically
if you
proven.
eat seeds, you can limbo.
Sorry, it was Lawrence Fishburne. Sorry, not Samuel L. Jackson. Sorry. I haven't really watched that film. I just haven't really watched it.
Predators. I think I only watched it once or twice. I like Brody as well. I think Brody's an incredible actor.
Incredible. Do you know he was in Peaky Blinders?
And he was probably, I think he was the best ever character because his acting was that good. He played Luca Changretta.
There you go. That name.
Every stitch stitched with blood.
Yeah, that's what he said. Prey was in the 1700s, apparently. There you go.
Fair play.
There you go. A lot of people know their Predator knowledge in the comments. That's really surprised me. And of course, Predator. There was Predator in it, Alien versus Predator, and there was an alien skull in the trophy cabinet in Predator 2. But loads of people have said that those films aren't canon because Even like the guy out of Aliens is in it, isn't it? The guy who was the original guy, who was the android in Alien 3, I think, or Alien. He's in because he's the guy. He's Wayland, isn't he, or the other fella, and he's in the Predator film. But yeah, there you go. I like that stuff though. I like films, the shared universes and the crossovers.
I like this. I've got a particular interest in the 1700s.
Fair play, yeah.
I'm not surprised. I don't know Prey was based in the 1700s, so I'm not surprised I like Prey. I also like, Assassin's Creed Unity because the French Revolution and stuff.
Slightly different though, isn't it?
Oh, there's a bit of French in Prey, so
fair enough. Fair. How do you feel about here's a question for you then. Really important Everton question. How do you feel about the fact that in the Senate in Star Wars there's E.T. aliens in there, and yet in the film E.T. they have Star Wars toys? How do you feel about that?
I think what's happened.
I think that's a really important question.
E.T.'s dad used to be on the Senate, but then he got a sniff about this fella called Palpatine. He was like, he's not right, him in the head, so I'm just going to get off. He got off to planet Earth but disguised himself as a human.
Yeah.
Thought, I'll make these boss toys and that. And
okay.
In fact, I'll direct these films.
Okay.
So he directed these films.
Okay.
But went back to his home planet, and one day E.T. was being a bit of a knobhead about, right, you're being an idiot. So we dropped him off at Earth and went, you'll be all right there.
So you're saying, what you're saying is the Star Wars...
E.T.'s dad is George Lucas.
George Lucas is actually an alien, and everything that happened in Star Wars was real. And he just went, I've gone to this planet, they don't know anything about any of that. I could go down, pretend that these films are amazingly part of my imagination, and make a fortune.
I think the real question is where's Steven Spielberg got all this? Spielberg.
Yeah.
Where's Steven Spielberg got all this information on aliens and that from? Where's the inspiration?
I don't know. But there you go. You might have just cracked the code. Gareth, we cannot on a YouTube video get into the MILF guidelines.
No.
David's in sunny Cyprus. Hello. Sarah Blues fan says, hi guys, have you read the Paddy Boylan interview with Alan Kelly? Seriously, what's going on at our club? He wanted to stay. I wonder if there's been an impact on Jordan's slightly shaky start. Yeah, I read a little bit of that, and hopefully Alan's coming in the studio soon. Spoke to him this week. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I can't really talk about it on behalf of other people, but he wanted to stay at the club. He left to have an operation, I think, and Everton didn't keep the job open for him, which again sounds like people wielding power at the club.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a direct correlation to Jordan Pickford's performances. You'd hope not, because he's he's already got that much experience and a man of his own and stuff, that he should still be a steady keeper, and he still is. But then obviously if Dyche brought his own man in, they can kind of work with what they want him to do, whether he wants him to come to the corners, what he wants to do with the distribution.
The problem is though, goalies now do want their own people, their own men they work with, and apparently Pickford really liked Alan Kelly. I've heard some goalkeepers bring their own coaches in, or try and bring their own coaches in. One thing I would say is that there's a report, or come out last night, saying that Pickford's position as England number one's like really in jeopardy now. I think basically what they were saying was everybody's position was in jeopardy. They just picked on Pickford to get the headline. Pickford is going to have to be at his best in the next 18 months if he wants to go to that World Cup, and I think that benefits us massively. So, because he is like Jordan Pickford playing for England is a big thing, isn't it? I don't think he really cares about winning stuff. Otherwise, he would have left Everton. But he wants to be England's number one. He wants to probably get to 100 caps, which he would do in the next 18 months. I don't think he'll ever get 125 like Shilton did, but he could become the second longest highest cap goalkeeper that could happen in the next 18 months. He has to be at his best. When he is at his best, he's the best English goalkeeper. We all know when he's not quite there, he can be a bit of a mess, but he's got all of the attributes. So hopefully he pulls it all together.
Thomas Tuchel will know he's by far the best English keeper, so I wouldn't worry about him in terms of it being the England number one.
Yeah.
But
John Crellin says, I was at the West Ham versus Ipswich game the other week. Ooh, why are you now? And we have one problem to solve. That is the kid Delap. He puts himself about and bullied the centre-backs for fun. In fact, I'd be looking to sign him for Calvert-Lewin. Leaves he's really harmful. No, I really like him.
West Ham have been crap and a bit bullish this season. I think Delap would have a lot more of a job up against Tarkowski if Tarkowski, performs the way we know we can.
I have not seen Joker 2. Ned has seen Joker 2.
Yeah, I'm not going to say a lot on it, but it was horrific.
Yeah.
I don't know what they were thinking.
I didn't go and see it because I generally get a sense of what... And don't get me wrong, I am one of these people who goes, I'm not going to listen to the critics. But I did get a sense that it was horrific.
I'd done that. I was like, oh no, it surely can't be that bad. It was genuinely... I don't understand it.
For me, it's not that critics say it's horrific. And I'll tell you why, right? Anyone goes on the IGN website, IGN has given like Penguin a 5, and it gives stuff I like recently really bad reviews, and I'm just like, shut up. But if you know your films and you know how they're promoted, and if you understand how when a film company thinks a film's going to be boss and going to be massive, it pushes the hell out of them. I have not seen one interview with Joaquin Phoenix. Lady Gaga was on Graham Norton, but I've not seen one interview with Joaquin Phoenix, so he clearly didn't believe in it. And I've not seen any with the director, and I've not seen anything like massive promotion. Like, look what Deadpool and Wolverine came out. Oh my God, they were everywhere. And sometimes it can be like, oh, they're everywhere because they're trying to sell it because it's crap. But you could tell they genuinely believed that film was boss.
And it was really, really good.
And they were everywhere, and they did loads of promotion, and they went all over the world, and they spent loads of money on it. And you can tell when something's like, they truly believe something's good. And that's where I was like, these don't think this is good. And if they don't think it's good, then I'm not wasting the money it costs to go to cinema now, and also my time, when it'll be on streaming in about two weeks.
I genuinely don't know what they were thinking. I don't know, a lot of people saying the director's basically done an FU and just took the piss, but I really don't understand it. I
don't get it. But just to answer Celtic Vape's question, the Penguin is amazing, like genuinely amazing. It's so good.
Not watched it yet, but I love the Patterson Batman.
So good.
I thought it was such a great adaptation.
The recent episode this week is phenomenal. Just like the way it was crafted, with it's a love letter to the Sopranos via a character that when I was growing up was like a joke figure, the Penguin in the Batman TV show, and then it was made a little bit darker when Batman 2 in 91. But the Penguin version in this new film is like a mob boss, and he's called the Penguin because he's got something wrong with his leg and he walks with a bit of a waddle. It's fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And to be honest, it could just be a normal mafia show if it wasn't set in Gotham, and it is so good. And you completely lose Colin Farrell. You don't even know it's Colin Farrell's in it.
No, of course not.
And Sophia is just, honestly, Falcone is just unbelievable. It's such a good show. And it does have really good links to the Batman film, but without going over the top about it. Like, Batman hasn't been mentioned in it. It's all about the after effects, what happened straight after what happened in the film. Honestly, it's brilliant. Like, and obviously I've got a Batman tattoo on my arm, so I've got like a vested interest, but genuinely brilliant. So I wouldn't waste your time on Joker 2. I would just say spend your time watching Penguin.
Carl Bryan on Beetlejuice 2 is horrific also, Swerve sequels doing films. I think Beetlejuice, like, it's nice if you like the first one, because it keeps the feel of the first one with, like, they don't go with, like, CGI and stuff. But I feel like they kind of done what Sam Raimi done in number 3 of Spider-Man. It's like they couldn't decide which plot route to go down. They introduced 2, like, villains, but didn't give them any screen time. They couldn't decide which one to, like, focus on and give them a real development story. And the story just came to, like, this, here's a character, and then the storyline was done. It was like, why have you introduced this?
The original
interesting thing?
Beetlejuice, though, was like an acquired taste. Not everyone liked that. It's just more like it's a Tim Burton thing. They really like it. They saw an opportunity to make a sequel and they've made one.
I think the thing with Beetlejuice is people really liked.
It's a cult hit.
What's her name? They liked her character. Winona Ryder.
And Michael Keaton's just an amazing. Is one of the best actors of a generation.
He's brilliant.
Blue Keaton says, "Ped, think you could start a TV and movie podcast on the side?" I did have one, mate. I did have one, the Nerd Social podcast, but I don't know what I was doing with it. His life just got too hectic, so, and I have to, like, you know, you also, when you're making podcasts and stuff, you have to keep up with everything, and you have to, like, so I would have had to have seen the Joker too and stuff like that, and it is very time consuming. Gary Waters' Penguin 2 is great. Ian Murphy says, honestly, one of my shows of the year, The Penguin. It is amazing. What delicious side says, Batman tattoo on your chest and all. No, mate, it's on my arm.
It means have you got the bat on your chest?
No, it's quite literally there. Batman tattoo. There you go.
It's not who you are in this inside, what you do that defines you.
Do you have a sore throat?
Where are all the drugs going? Swear to me.
I think if this Penguin continues being as good as it is, and then the sequel, the Batman 2, is good, and I'm really hoping it introduces the Court of Owls. I'm hoping it introduces
Barry Coffin as a...
If it introduces the
Joker.
Court... No, but we know the Joker's coming to it. If it introduces the Court of Owls, right, which is in the comics, and in the best run of Batman comics, that I think, anyway, then the Court of Owls, alongside something like a Penguin TV show, could make this Batman series better than Christian Bale's Batman. That's all I'm saying. Because with the TV show being as strong as it is, and if they maybe bring another TV show into it, it could maybe be as strong, because it will have more than just Batman's story. That's all I'm going to say.
Like a universe. Gotham's an interesting one, because it's kind of like...
The TV show?
Yeah, it's not really been adapted into anything else, has it? Don't think it's as big as what they thought it would have been. Patterson as Batman was... It was the first real Batman that was not only dark, but he was a real detective as well. Like, some of the crap...
Simon Harris says, I agree, Pet, the Court of Owls is easily the best Batman comic run. It is. It's fantastic. And it's about people who... It's like having someone who's been controlling Gotham for years. Because the Gotham is based on, like, the founding fathers of Gotham, and obviously the Waynes of that. And these have these secret underground people, and they're called the Court of Owls. So having that... Be amazing. Be absolutely amazing. Yeah, there you go. It's a great show. It's a great show. I'll tell you what else is a great show, right? Just because I know we always tend to do this when we finish shows. Only Murders in the Building
Steve
is genuinely, right, one of the best things on telly at the moment. It's so easy to watch. It's into its 4th season. Its 5th season's coming. The guest stars are unbelievable. So the guest stars in this series are Paul Rudd, Meryl Streep, Eva Longoria, Zach Galifianakis, you know him, don't you? Out of The Hangover.
Oh,
Alan.
yeah. He's in The Office.
And is he in The Office? No. The Alan
guy
with the beard
and the fat guy.
Yeah.
Oh, no, yeah. I was thinking
and the other one is Eugene Levy.
Oh,
you know Eugene
American
Levy.
Pie.
Yeah.
Eyebrows.
They're like, and also Melissa McCarthy was in it. They're like the guest stars, and the guest stars are unbelievable. It's such a good show. And also the guy who voiced Bing Bong from Inside Out, is it?
Bing Bong.
Bing Bong. You've seen Inside Out, haven't you?
Yeah, There's no one called Bing
Well,
Bong.
there is. There quite literally is.
Inside Out, they're all feelings.
No,
They're all
literally someone
happy,
called. There's literally someone called Bing Bong in it.
Which one's Bing Bong?
Literally someone called Bing Bong. And what's interesting about the Bing Bong character is, Ned has forgotten it, which is really interesting. If you
in the new one. Oh.
No, in the first one. No, in the first one, there's a character.
Is he
called
not anxiety?
No.
Oh no, that's anxiety,
That's
isn't it?
Bing Bong.
That's anxiety.
That's not anxiety.
That's anxiety.
That's
Embarrassment. Yeah,
That's embarrassment.
Yeah.
That's Bing Bong. Bing Bong was an imaginary character that she forgot because it went down the thing. So by you forgetting Bing Bong, that's quite interesting about your
ironic.
psyche. There you go.
I liked Inside Out. Inside Out 2 was well better than the first one.
So yeah,
a bit sporty.
Only Murders in the Building is brilliant, and I tell you what else is brilliant, right? Tell you what else is brilliant, and I don't know. You probably aren't watching this, but you should be. Agatha All Along.
Yeah,
Did you watch WandaVision?
I loved WandaVision.
Well, then you have to watch this because it ties directly into it.
It's White Vision, isn't it?
No, but there is a big character that's just been revealed in it.
Scarlet.
I'm not saying anything. It's people, but so Agatha's. If you're a Marvel person like me, Agatha's really important to watch as well. So that's literally what I'm watching at the moment. I'm also playing Dino Crisis on the PS5, but it's a PS1 game, and the controls are shocking. But they're just shocking. But I've managed to get it. But the story, I do like the story, and it's creepy. It's basically, if you don't know what Dino Crisis is, it's basically Jurassic Park without the license. And it was made by the same people who made Resident Evil, and it's creepy. And now and again, Velociraptors just come from nowhere, and I don't know how they get in there because all the doors are locked. But there has to be some kind of thing that you have to kill. There you go. Dan says, "Bing Bong, the cotton candy elephant dolphin that cries candies." And you forgot it, so I think you've got some kind of childhood trauma that was associated with Bing Bong. Is that true?
I don't know.
Tell me your feelings.
I still remember Bing Bong.
Exactly.
It made me want to go have a game of hockey.
I don't know how you don't remember Bing Bong, no.
In the second one?
No, in the first one. That keeps...
Oh, yeah, I barely remember the first one, to be honest. I didn't like the first one.
The first one's amazing.
I prefer the second one.
It's well better than the second one. I like, but the second one's too much about being a teenager, and teenagers are knobheads.
The dinner table scene in the second one was brilliant, where the dad's just watching footy in his head.
Glenn Watson says, "Bring back the Nerd Social Club with Premier member guests." Maybe I will do that. I don't know if I've got time, though. That's the problem. Gary Woods says, Agatha's really good. Sog says, "Do you know the plans to turn the old Litwood site into Hollywood by the Mersey?" Yes, I do. Those plans have been there for years, but they finally, although they haven't got the funding yet, but they are gutting the Littlewoods buildings right now to make it Hollywood, to make it film studios, because Liverpool, which again goes back to the Batman, Liverpool has so many films made in it, and it did have the Batman film made in it. And I got to walk past St. George's Hall, which is where they do the funeral scene, and I saw the Penguin's car, which later on in the film flips. Yeah. I got to see that, and obviously we all saw Batman. We all saw Batman at the top of the Liver building, and which is weird also, because there is a proper Batman comic book where Batman
he's on the Liver
comes to the Liver building, and I've got the print of that signed by it. But also last Christmas, my missus bought me. There's a girl in Liverpool who does brilliant designs based on films in Liverpool. So she did a Captain America one, because Captain America was filmed in Liverpool, which I haven't got, but I will.
This where he's chasing that fella.
Yeah, but he's in the. Well, my only thing is he's in the wrong suit. He's in the stealth suit from Winter Soldier. I'll look past that. But he's outside the docks. There's a Batman one where he's on the thing, and my missus bought me, and it's a boss picture, and I'm waiting to do me studio/office up at home so I can put them up on the wall. But she does brilliant pictures, this girl, so I will look for it. Did you see Sebastian Stan said that this is turning into a Nerds podcast, isn't it? Sebastian Stan said that he really wished Marvel would look more into the Winter Soldier era of Bucky. And I think that would be boss, because I watched Civil War the other night.
Like a series about the Winter Soldiers. And
No, just him. I watched Civil War the other night, and like all the flashbacks and stuff. I was like, wouldn't it be boss if we got a series where it's like set in like say the 80s
or like 70s or something,
and it's like the Cold War, and you are like you're following just Bucky around, and he's bad. He's the Winter Soldier. He's bad, and he doesn't know. You don't need anyone else in it, and you've got all these like Cold War era stories of just like the Winter Soldier going around and doing bad. I think that'd be brilliant, because the scenes where like you see him kill Tony's mum and dad are dark but also amazing.
He was so overpowered as a villain, and then when he was a hero, he was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like he's like total boss bad villain, and then the next minute he's good again, and then he has a little bit of a wobble in Civil War. And it's like, no, give us a bit of that anyway.
I wonder how much of an integral part he'll play in the new Captain America.
But he's in Thingo first, isn't he? Thunderbolts. So
I would love to see Red Hulk take on Green Hulk.
There you go.
But as not as where he's actual Hulk, not Shrek.
Anyway,
I hate this new Hulk.
James Graham says Jesus Dino Crisis. Well, it's not Jesus Dino Crisis, because that would give Bads a moral dilemma. Then he'd have to believe in one or the other, wouldn't he? Are you saying Jesus because I'm playing it, or Jesus like, wow, Dino Crisis? It got released this week on the PS5. It's not. It's the original version. It's not an update.
How much is it?
It's free.
Oh,
if
yeah.
You've got the Premiere,
thingy.
which I have, because I'm stupid. Pay a fortune for it.
You get all the old classic games and that.
No,
though,
they're
don't you?
all crap. So I had to play the other day, Time Splitters. I played it for 5 minutes. It was terrible. Although if you do like Time Splitters, play Deathloop. Oh my god, what a game! Deathloop is amazing. Honestly, I think it's free if you've got Premiere subscription, and it's amazing. Deathloop, and it plays like Time Splitters.
Have you got the new WWE 2K24?
It's there if I want it, but
yeah, it's good, you know.
Okay.
There's to showcase. You go back and you have to redo all the storylines from all WrestleManias, like 80s and.
Oh, I might have a little
90s.
dabble. Might have a little dabble.
So you're like.
To be honest, I've been waiting for Jedi Survivor to come out. No, but I'm not paying for it. I'm waiting for it to come out free.
I still don't know about it. I'll probably give it a go. I played Fallen Order. I liked it towards the end.
Fallen Order's great.
It took me a while to do Fallen Order because I just kept getting bored and going back to it. And I was like, so
Carl,
repetitive.
PS Pro is a rip-off. Paying for much more storage. I think it's a bit more than that, but I'm not paying 700 quid for it when there's no games for there's like no games for the PS5. There's no games. Okay, next couple of years we're going to get GTA 6 and we're going to get a Wolverine.
They're just all under quid as well, aren't they? They're just like, I wish they just had like little games that were like 15 quid and like an arcade game or something, because there's not a lot of them.
Right. Everton win tomorrow. That's what we want. We're going to be on more than a game, 1:15, doing our preview for the weekend. So catch us over there. It's been good. A lot of footy chat, a little bit of film chat, a little bit of TV chat. This is what I like on a Friday. Not too serious. I like this. Ned isn't leaving quite yet. He's still got literally like 2 weeks. Next week and the week after for like half the week. So so catch us in 10 minutes or so on More Than a Game, and then you'll catch us after the match.
If you're in Lowton, you can catch me singing tonight at the Red Lion. If you're in Ashton, you can catch me singing at the Golden Lion tomorrow.
There you go. Why would you
want to watch me sing live?
Celebrate Everton's win by going to see Ned in Lowton. There you go. See you later.